think much of the confusion in life, socially and even personally, with regards to our own pursuit of meaning, comes from poorly developing our shoulds, and poorly navigating the whole landscape of shoulds. Right? What we should do, what we shouldn't do. And some people say we should do one thing, and other people say we shouldn't do that thing. And it's like this all the way down to how you dress, how you eat. And it's obviously bigger than that, and really in every single domain. And we talk about things like empiricism as being the guides of knowledge, right? If we can back it up with a study or several studies, if we can substantiate it empirically with evidence, then we can confirm our shoulds and should nots one way or the other. But so much of life doesn't have empirical grounding yet, or ever. And so in every single lifetime, each of us has to individually decide our shoulds and should nots with uncertainty. Right? And sometimes the uncertainty is so overwhelming that we never settle on a should or a should not. Yeah, poorly understood shoulds. Poorly understood shoulds. Poorly understood shoulds and should nots. What is happening? A lot of shoulds and should nots on the road. And what one man's automobile empiricism is does not necessarily align with another man's. Right? Automobile navigation, our empiricisms may differ. When you have an argument with someone, do you ever just say, you know what? I think our sources of empirical foundation differ. Or there's so many more polite and convoluted ways to acknowledge disagreement. Right? Empirically we differ. It's not true. The whole idea of empiricism is that it leaves little room for misunderstanding, but the reality is that all data has to be contextualized and understood. Nothing is truly, I shouldn't say nothing, but many of the big scientific questions that pertain to things like our health, our behavior, how we should ultimately navigate our lives. These are big questions that necessitate interpretation, and it simply can't be done away with. And in every scientific article you could read, there's a results section, and then there's a discussion section, a conclusion and discussion section. And of the same results, no surprise, one person's discussion and conclusion would differ from another person's. The way that you would write your discussion section will differ in how I write the discussion section of the same results. It'll differ possibly in the grammar and the tone, and it'll possibly even differ in the conclusions and in the prognostications, recommendations for future research, etc. So there's an inescapable, oh my God, there's an inescapable uncertainty of life And we have to, true wisdom comes from ultimately successful discernment. We've successfully discerned our shoulds and should nots, what we